Successfully juggling through your many tasks while trying to be the best version of yourself can be one of the most rewarding experiences of life, yet a rather daunting task. Now join Cresta Durojaiye, Africa's leading productivity expert and life strategist, as she equips and empowers you with practical tools that bring organization and structure to help you be more efficient and live your best life possible. If you struggle with pulling it all together and need someone to handhold you through the process, this is the podcast for you. You're listening to Life Lessons with Cresta Durojaiye.
Hello, welcome to a new week of Life Lessons. In this week's episode, we will highlight the connection between forgiveness and productivity. Yes, you heard me right. Now, really and truly, is there a connection between productivity and forgiveness? Should we forgive if the person or offender is unrepentant and still hurts us? What if the offense is, one that's difficult to forget? How do you manage to forgive? These are thoughts that, cross our minds daily as we journey through life. Now, guess what? As justified as they may seem, these thoughts just have a way of clogging our heart and cluttering up our mental space. And that does not allow you be your best productive self. That's the truth. Everything is justified. All those questions, they're justified and they make sense. But as they keep running through your mind, they just clog up your space. And when your space, your mental space or your heart space is cluttered up, you are unable to function in the best productive way possible. So what do we do? Do we just continue to entertain the thoughts, or do we just continue and even graduate to the level of throwing a pity party? No. If we really want to get back on track and get ourselves functioning normally again, we will need to address the issue on ground. Now, confrontation, you can't afford to avoid it. You must confront the issue. Identify with what it is that actually happened. And as soon as you do that, you have to decide to make up your mind to forgive. Yes, it's difficult sometimes, but what happens is when you don't forgive, even though you were not at fault and someone genuinely hurt you, what happens is that you yourself begin to depreciate. So for your own good, now let's forget about the offender or whatever it is, but for your own good and for your stability, it's important that you make up your mind to forgive and just let go. And then if it's someone who you feel, even after you've forgiven, you feel like the person, for some reason is not, it's not willing to take the steps required to actually make amends in a way that gives you peace, you may need to, set some healthy boundaries. Not that you're not going to talk to the person again or you're going to be quarreling with the person, but you set healthy boundaries and say, you know what? Because this has happened and I see that you don't value my relationship with you enough to work at it, then you set, this doesn't mean you have to tell the person, but you just make up your mind to set healthy boundaries. If you were so close to the person before and you could open up on all your heart matters and whatever it is that is special to you, setting healthy boundaries may mean that you no longer share such vital or precious ideas or matters with the person. And, it kind of, it's like a protection for you at that time, until you feel a lot better or you see that there is a change from the other end. Now, the next step after you set healthy boundaries is that you need to seek help and direction to help you, identify something positive that you can use to superimpose the negative or painful thoughts when they come. So over time, as you identify a positive thought or idea to superimpose over the negative thought or the painful thought, over time you find out that as soon as the memory starts coming, what it brings to mind is that positive thought that you've been using to superimpose. Now, for me, this is the place where I pray. I am unapologetically a Christian. So I pray, I talk to God about it, and He gives me something I can hold on to that I use to superimpose when the thoughts come. Now, what this does is that over time, when you think of that sad or once painful experience, you no longer associate it with pain because you have been consciously superimposing, something positive, something good, something joyful over it. So the painful, you think of that thing, but what it brings to mind is no longer the painful experience or thought. Now, this gradually, weeds out negative or painful experiences and frees up your once clogged up mind space. Now, as a result, you are up and doing again, and it helps you to be free. And when you are free, your mind space is decluttered. You work better, you function better, you fly better, you shine better. So forgiveness is critical, not just for the person, but for you most of all. And what it really means when you hear forgiveness is that you are getting to that point where remembering the situation is no longer associated with pain, and you're free and you're able to better, express yourself and be your best productive self. So that's just what I thought to share today. And I hope that it helps somebody process their difficult situations and find a step-by-step way following this guide to address it and help them bounce back and help them become their best productive selves again, or free them up enough to consider working on being more productive. So put your house in order, put your heart in order, put your relationships in order so that your mind space can be free and you can be your best productive self. Have a wonderful week and catch up with you again next week. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of Life Lessons with Cresta Durojaiye, now don't forget to leave a comment and of course share this episode with those you love.